one night I was walking to the fridge and my dad asked me if I wanted to have a drink with him. You are here. You have been put on this earth. You have been placed on this earth to break these generational patterns. From the age of about 12 to 20, I had this broken relationship with my dad. Now, what does broken actually mean? Well, for me, it meant we barely talked to each other and we barely even touched each other for 8 years. Imagine that. Imagine you're under the same roof, you're in the same house, you see this person every single day, and you barely touch this person. And not only is this person another person, it's your dad, it's a parent. There was even one time when I was getting on the plane and I was about to go to college in America, because I did a few years in college in Hawaii, and I got on the plane and he even sent me a text that said, "See you, mate, I don't think we've even clashed this time since you've been back." And he even texted that to me. Like, "I don't think that we fought since you've been back." So it was an unusual occurrence that we didn't fight, we didn't clash in some kind of way. Now, was he a bad person? Absolutely not. Your parents are not bad people. He was in this high stress job, he had this high pressure job, and he'd do what our parents' generation did, what many people still do. They have that long day of work and then they come home, sit on the couch and have a drink. And I thought that that was normal, but over time I realized that that was not normal, to come home and sit on the couch and drink every night. And now, was he the best dad? Well, probably not. But there's a line in my book that says, he definitely wasn't the best, but he definitely did his best. In my last YouTube video, I spoke about not seeing your parents as parents, but starting to see them as people as you get older. People that make mistakes and have their own beliefs. Because most of the time, your parents aren't going to be the best, but they're going to be one of the very best things that help you grow. And that's the thing. You don't need to worry about your parents being the best. You just have to accept that they did the best they can, because parenting never ends. We think we get to like 20, 30 and then parenting stops, but it never really ends. And so because you spent so much time with your parents, because they're such a big part of your life, because they're so close to your heart, the people that are closest to you have the greatest impact on you. So a lot of the time people think, oh, it's my friends, it's people at my job that have the greatest impact on me. No, it's not them. It's usually yourself and your parents. And I believe that if you don't transform this broken relationship that you have with your parent, this anger, this frustration, this resentment, this will lead you to becoming more and more and more like that person. Now, why is that? Why do you become the person you despise? Well, it's because you still have work to do up here. If you're still getting angry, if you're still getting frustrated at people, especially your parents, then you still have a lot of work to do up here. I know Ram Dass, this spiritual teacher, has this, I quote him a lot in my YouTube videos, but he has this great quote that says, if you think you're enlightened, go and spend a week with your parents. And so I've seen this happen again and again in my life, that you become the person who you despise the most. That's why it's so important to transform this relationship, so you don't despise anyone, especially your parents. In fact, this was so close to happening to me, and I write about it quite a bit in my first book that's coming out very soon. And this is the story. One night, I was walking to the fridge, and my dad asked me if I wanted to have a drink with him. Now, it was the very first time that my dad had ever asked me if I wanted to drink with him. And as I'm walking to the fridge, I open the fridge, and what I see is a beer, but I also, as the book says, I also see a bottle of water that I'd never seen so clear. Because the very thing that I disliked about my dad, him coming home drinking, I hated that, I didn't like that, I shouldn't say hate, I didn't like that drinking part of him. So the very thing that I disliked about him was the very thing I was doing. And that's coming back to that, you become the person who you despise. And like, I could not believe that I didn't see it. Like so many of my dad's habits, I had that drinking, but also sitting down and watching television, following sport, and getting really indulged in this pleasure and comfort life. And now I'm not saying that all of that is bad, but it's just, I realized that all of that stuff, it wasn't a part of my growth. So it says in the book that I picked up the bottle of water and I got to see that my life went from continuing him to pursuing me. Now, what's very interesting about this poem, it's a bunch of poems in the book, by the way, that line that says, my dad asked me if I wanted to have a drink with him. Now, what's so fascinating, but also it's more of an opportunity, this opportunity that you don't see that's in your life right now, is how easy it would have been for me, how easy it is for you to go a completely different direction in your life. Like, there are things in your house right now that you can take, that you can consume for you to go a completely different direction in your life. And that was the beer, right? That was the beer in the fridge. Then on the other side of that was this bottle of water. And the fascinating thing is that both are as easy as each other. It's just as easy to pick up that bottle of water and go in that direction of life, continue down my dad's path. But it's also just as easy to pick up the bottle of water and go my own way. And for me, it was much more exciting to pick up that bottle of water and find my own path. And so what I realized over time was he was just asking me to drink with him so that I could get closer to him, so that we could get closer to each other. But I realized that that wasn't the way. And I didn't really see that at the time, but I had to go my own way in order to get closer to him. That's a big part of my book, is that the separation actually brings you closer. But a lot of people don't really see it that way. So this was an opportunity to either get closer to him or an opportunity to break away and follow my own path and break, more importantly, and break this generational pattern. You are here, you have been put on this earth, you have been placed on this earth to break these generational patterns. Now, I was doing a little bit of research before this video, and generational pattern, generation. When you break the word generation down, it has the word generate in it. Now, what does generate mean? Generate means to produce or to create. But most people think generate means continue. In this case, most people think it means continue. So you continue the habits, you continue the beliefs, you continue the life that your parents have shown you. But what generation actually means, what generate means, is to produce, to create your own path. So you are put in your generation to break the old generation's pattern. It's exactly why you're here. And so you can go home, well, maybe you're already in your house right now, but today, look at your parents. If you're in the house with your parents right now, or if next time you visit your parents' house or they come over to yours, just watch them and watch their habits and watch what habits you still have that they have too. And just ask yourself the question, do you think your life would be better if you didn't have this habit, if you broke away from this generational pattern? Because his dad would have got it from his dad, and his dad would have got it from his dad, and so on. And so when you break this generational pattern, it not only impacts your life, but it'll impact your children's life too. And that might not seem like that much of a deal to you if you're not a parent, but if you are a parent, you'll know how much of a big deal that is. But there are things that you have been doing for so many years that you don't even notice that you're still doing them. And it's because you've just picked up on the habits that you were with for the first 20, 25, 30 years of your life. And so this is one of, if not the most crucial step in order to start walking your own path. Like that generation word says, that word generate, breaking that generational pattern, it means to produce or create. So you can start creating the life that you are meant to be living, not the life that you are meant to be following. I hope this video does wonders for your world. As always, be kind, be caring, be courageous, and I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love.